Many of us can admit that there are points in our life when we've been through some very rough situation, challenging times, things that it is so rough it is hard to even explain. Just as though 2020 has hit many of us hard, harder than we can even imagine. But can you imagine going through a rough situation, trials, temptations, left, right, but you still have a close friend may come to you and say, consider it joy when you go through the trials and temptation. You might even get upset with the person. You don't know what I'm going through, but you are saying to me that I should find joy. I should find some form of pleasure in going through my situation. I take it to a passage of scripture in the book of James. James 1 verses 2 to 4. It says, my brethren, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. But let patience have her perfect way, that you may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. Another version of that same passage, it says, consider it a great joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you experience various trials, because you know that the testing of your faith produces endurance, and let endurance have its full effect, so that you may be mature, complete, lacking nothing. Have you ever questioned, while you're going through the situation, what if you're supposed to put your faith in God? What if you're going through that situation, as difficult as it is, you're supposed to put your faith in God? Have you ever stopped to think about that your faith in God can produce valuable results while you're going through your trials and your situation, your temptations? Let's look at it. The passage says that, consider joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you experience various trials, because you know that the testing of your faith produces endurance. Many times when we are going through a situation, we focus on the situation that we are going through and not the lessons that we can learn from it, because we have a lot of emotions attached to it. And it is okay to have emotions, but sometimes the situation have our emotions so consumed, we fail to see the fruit in the trials and the temptation or the situation. But it says you will produce endurance. While you're in that situation, how can endurance be produced? Now, if you were so illegitimately try to hijack getting out of that situation, what if you were supposed to get back into another situation just like that? It's as if like you're on training. Endurance. You need endurance in the midst of your trials. Because if you don't have endurance, you're about to fail. There's no two way about it. You need the endurance to know that you can go on a little bit more. It shall pass. You need endurance in the challenging times when you feel like you can't go on. You need that just a little bit more endurance. Think about a sprinter. He sprint and he dash. But when I think about a person in a long distance race, he has that endurance. He's going through it. He's going through the fatigue. His legs are tired. His lungs are tired. His chest is getting tight. But he's been training so long, he has that endurance he can keep up. So we need the endurance, just as the word said, in the midst of the situation, in the midst of the trials, in the midst of the temptations. Not only we need endurance, as the word says here, it says, because you know that the testing of your faith produces endurance, but let endurance have its full effect, so that you may be mature. You're going through your situation. Why do you need a level of maturity? In that situation, there are times you may feel lonely. That is when we need that maturity to understand that God is with you, because he said in his word, he never leave you nor forsake you. He never said that you're not going to go through it. But we need that level of maturity to understand that he is there. We need that level of maturity at a time where we feel defeated. We need that level of maturity to understand, say, yes, I can go on just a little bit longer. We need maturity when there's doubt, there's apprehension. We need it. We need maturity when we are going through the situation to understand that we understand ourselves and that we're not going through to please people. No, we don't. Because they're not the one in it. The word also says that let endurance have its full effect so that you may be mature and complete, lacking nothing. Complete, lacking nothing. How does that add up? We need that because while we are going through the trials and that situation, we understand that, yeah, this is not the end of it. I need nothing else but God. Because people will fail you. When you look other places for other resources, it will fail you. But God is the only sustainer. We have to understand that the timepiece on our hand and the time with God is totally different. And we cannot measure up our time with God's time. So when we are going through the situation, the trials, and the temptation, it says here that so that you may be mature, complete, and lack nothing, because God Himself will provide whatever you need. So I'm saying this to you. Whenever you are going through that situation, that trial, that difficulty, when you just want to throw in the towel, remember the word says here, consider it great joy, so that you may be mature, you're able to produce endurance, and at the end, you'll be lacking nothing at all. That is what God do when you put your faith in Him when you're going through your situation. He does allow you to produce valuable results. God bless you all.